In the wake of Hurricane Ian, a national spotlight has fallen on Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis. We spoke exclusively with former senior counselor to President Trump, Kellyanne Conway, about the former president's timing for a 2024 announcement and the leadership test the Florida governor is facing. Kellyanne Conway, thank you for speaking with CBS News.
My pleasure, Catherine.
This week has really been dominated by the hurricane and introduced a lot of Americans to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Republican strategists in the state have told CBS News that these crises can be a real leadership test for governors and propel them to higher office. How has the Florida governor done?
I mean, the devastation of Hurricane Ian, the experts refer to it as a once-in-500-year storm weather event. Obviously, now it's coming up the coast, but sure, it's a test of leadership. This needs to be completely nonpartisan, non-controversial. And I think that our elected officials need to take a page and a clue from we the people. People really band together for their neighbors and their communities in the face of crises and chaos like Hurricane Ian.
Well, has the governor's handling of the hurricane shown his leadership skills, and does that help him in a possible presidential run?
Well, it helps Florida right now, and that I know is his first concern for Governor and First Lady of Florida, Ron and Casey DeSantis. They want to make sure that people are rescued, that their belongings are recovered. I mean, we're still in that phase. I think he's shown tremendous leadership throughout the week just by being a very calm and reassuring, informative source for folks.
Is the Trump camp concerned about a DeSantis run in 2024?
I don't think so. I mean, I've discussed this with President Trump more broadly. They're friends, they're allies. I think people want Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump to be two scorpions in a bottle that they're just not. But I also know that Donald Trump knows what it really takes to run and be the president. You have to go and engage with the people, make the stops all around the country. I think that Governor DeSantis has been on the trail of late for other gubernatorial candidates, and that's been big for them financially, big for them politically, those candidates. But he hasn't been able to venture out, I think, because he's running for his own reelection. And now, of course, he's in his state handling Hurricane Ian. But I do think that Donald Trump is a prohibitive favorite if he decides to run. My advice all along, I think I shared with you last spring or early summer, Catherine, it remains, and it's do not announce a presidential election until after the midterms.
But to be clear, is the Trump camp concerned about a DeSantis run in 2024?
I don't think they are. No, I don't think they are. And if I were Ron DeSantis, I'm not. I would be the best two-term governor Florida has ever seen. He's on track to do that. He has the skills, he has the temperament, he has the moxie, and he has the commitment to do that. I would go be the best two-term governor Florida has ever seen and run for president before I'm even 50 years old.
Has the Mar-a-Lago search changed former President Trump's thinking about getting into the race?
It's changed the level of support that he has seen from people who may have been sitting on the fence or reluctant about another Trump run. They are really circling around him.
Do you expect the former president to officially get into the race before Thanksgiving?
Well, he would like to, and he's as active as anybody in these midterm elections. That's important to the calculus also, Catherine, because we have the most ironic, if not unprecedented, situation right now. We have a president, a current president, whose party doesn't really want him to campaign with them, Joe Biden.
But the timing.
The timing.
You said
I think before the end of this year.
Before the end of this year.
And this is a man who wanted to announce in July or September, or, thought about it, not wanted to, thought about it, because he feels white-knuckled and frustrated and sad about what's happened to this country.
What's your reaction to Congresswoman Liz Cheney's comments earlier this week that if Trump is the nominee, quote, I won't be a Republican?
Well, it's pretty shocking for somebody named Cheney. They're dyed-in-the-wool Republicans, of course. I mean, her father was, my goodness, Secretary of Defense, Vice President, Chief of Staff in the White House, I believe. That's a Republican family, a very conservative family.
What happens if Liz Cheney runs for president?
Well, that's something I told the president could happen last July. We remember 1992. You had Bill Clinton win the presidency against incumbent President George Herbert Walker Bush. And Clinton did it with way under 50% of the vote, because you had Ross Perot. You had the third party in there.
But so does Liz Cheney split the ticket to the advantage of the Democrats?
I know firsthand, running for president is hard. Winning is near impossible. That's why so few people have ever done it successfully. But being a spoiler, that's easier. Ross Perot did it.
Would she be a spoiler?
In 1992, sure. She would try to be.
Does former Vice President Mike Pence have a viable path to the White House?
Well, he would. If President Trump doesn't run, that's a big if. If President Trump were to decide he doesn't run, because I agree with Senator Ted Cruz that except for the Republicans who want to run because they're anti-Trump, they want to run against Trump or prevent him from running, so they think. If you're actually running in the America First lane, then I think and President Trump decides not to run, Catherine, then it's a free-for-all. Then you've got dozens of men and women running. Our bench is very full and very firm with very talented people. I think then Vice President Pence's best argument is, look, you are hankering for the Trump-Pence accomplishments. Donald Trump has said he's not running. I'm the second part of the Trump-Pence accomplishments. But it would be easier for him to do it with the president's grace, if not support.
Would you encourage former President Trump to endorse Pence if he didn't get into the race?
Well, I sure would. I would encourage him to. I would encourage President Trump to reflect on what he already knows, which is that together they were a magnificent team for 4 years. It ended badly, and they're not in close contact now. But what they did together as president and vice president was nothing short of remarkable.
Kellyanne Conway, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Catherine.